Hey, class. Just wanted to touch in with you folks and let you know what we're going to be doing moving forward. I don't know entirely what it is. Since this is a hands-on lab style course, it's going to be kind of difficult for us to transition into online teaching, but we're going to do our best. Okay. What we're going to do first, in order to give me time to build some of the modules and to give you folks something to work on and get ready for some of the lessons to come, is we're going to work on script writing. What I'm doing is I'm having you do something similar to what my other classes are doing right now. They're also working on group projects and scripts. And so I figured that you folks, if you actually had a script sitting there, we can use that and we can shoot elements of that going forward throughout the semester. So I'm going to start creating folders and pages and modules in here. And so this is the first one I created, which is the writing project. And I've got some resources to help you folks with that. I know some of you have already taken script writing. Many of you haven't. So I'm going to go over this a little bit and show you what we've got here. I've also got some sample scripts for you folks to look at as well, so you can use that as an example of what you're going to be doing. First of all, let me pull one of these up first, and this is one that we did. I think we shot it maybe the semester before last, when we were doing projects with the Theater 7 class. So this one's called Queenfish, and yeah, it's from 2019. Here we have exterior cul-de-sac day. At the end of the weed-choked dead-end street, two tough guys, Anthony and DB, stand around drinking from bottles and brown paper bags. And then we go into the dialogue and a little bit more action. You can pretty much get an idea of what that looks like. This is your title page here. I'm going to get out of here real quick, and I'm going to show you what those various parts mean. And I apologize to those of you who've already taken script writing, because this is going to be uh, a repeat for you folks. But here's the document I like to use for this, and I'm just going to go over the very beginning of it, but I'd like for you folks to read the whole thing if you haven't already. It's called How to Format a Screenplay, and what I like is it front loads the four most important elements of script writing that are the ones you're most likely to use. Okay, so the basics right here, they call them the big four, and what those are slug lines, which are also known as scene headings. And they look like this: interior bank vault night, or exterior football stadium late afternoon. INT means interior, EXT means exterior. And what you want to write in a slug line or scene heading is you want to go short and to the point. You want to say whether it's interior or exterior, what it is, with a nice brief description without having to put a whole bunch of adjectives in there, and then the time of day. Okay. In some cases, you can extend these things up a little bit more. So here's an example right here. It says interior. Let's see if I can highlight this. Interior Donald's mansion, billiards room night. And the reason that it has that extra part of the house added to it, the billiards room, is because of the fact that there's going to be more happening in this house. So it's Donald's mansion, but they're probably going to be doing something in the kitchen or the basement or the bedroom or something like that in this. So that's why you have interior Donald's mansion and then the subheading of the billiards room night. If you're just going to have one thing happen in one room, then you could just say Donald's mansion night. Okay. All right, next we have action. I call it action or description because it includes both, kind of in equal doses. And you need to have a little bit of that after you have your slug line. And here's an example right here. Interior Donald's mansion, billiards room night. Beatrice picks her way through the ransacked room. Cue sticks, books, papers, everything has been searched. She stoops to pick up a photo of a young boy. That describes what's happening, a little bit of what the room looks like. It gets you in there. And now you've got an idea of what it looks like. Then you can jump into the dialogue if you need to. But you don't have to. Maybe you aren't going to have any dialogue there. Now, when you do get into the dialogue, first of all, you have to have the character name. So the character name will always be in all caps, okay? And then you also have the dialogue which happens after that. So in this case, it says, Marty, don't tell me you believe in leprechaun, son. Never believe in anything you can't hit with a BB. Terrible dialogue, but at least you can see how it's formatted. So you have the name there, and then you have the dialogue that happens underneath it right there. That's the only thing you write like that. You don't write action as if it's dialogue. You wouldn't put Marty and then put Marty hits a leprechaun. You write the any action over with the action and description over on the left hand side. You just have people talk in this area. That's just the way you write dialogue. So if you come down here, here's an example, all the things together. Interior, fire station, night. The fire truck pulls in, lights flash silently, an air of defeat hangs over the men. So you've got that slug line. Then you have the action description. And then you have a little bit of dialogue. Chief Patterson, I can't believe we forgot the hose. That has all those things pulled together. That is pretty much what you need to be able to write a script. There's other things, more advanced things. I can show you folks how to do those later, but this is enough to actually get you folks started, okay? So if you were to take, if you wanted to write in a Word document, I have a script template right here. Let me click on that. And you could also use this and copy and paste it into a Google Doc if need be. So here's the title page right here. Title, you're going to want to give it a title, okay? And then you scroll down here. And then what I did is I left it so you could choose whether it's an interior or exterior. And then you put what the location is, and then you decide day or night. You could just write over this. So the location is briefly described, which is what you would do. A person whose name is presented in all caps does something. A person their name is presented in all caps the first time you introduce them. Another character, also in all caps, briefly described, perhaps is also present. So you introduce a character, you put their name in all caps. You put their name in all caps whenever you're writing dialogue. But then if you have them in description later on, you don't have to have it in all caps. It's just when they're being introduced and when you're using dialogue, okay? And then right here, character 2, expletive, you would put shit or hell or damn or something like that. You could put it in all caps, so that means they're yelling. So if a person says something in, and it's in all caps in their dialogue, that means they're yelling, kind of like when your grandpa does tweets or something like that, and the caps lock is on or something like that. But that means they're yelling or it's very important, that kind of thing. But you could use this if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to write your script directly over it using this template. You can also use Google Docs for those of you that like to work from the cloud. And here's a Google Docs screenplay formatter link. It'll take you to this page right here. And this is a Google Docs add-on. And so get into your Google account, you can add this into it. And then when you're doing this, it would end up looking something like this. Over on the left-hand side, this is where you write. And before you write anything, you select what it's going to be. It's going to be a header, which is what they call the slug lines. Is it going to be action, which is your description right here? Is it going to be a speaker name right there? Is it going to be dialogue? That goes right there as well. Okay, and you just select what it's going to be. If you are going to introduce a character like I've done right here, you do it all caps on your own. It's not going to format it for you. You do have to do your spacing too, so it's not going to automatically include the space between your action here and then your dialogue here. So you're going to need to create a space right there to make it look correctly. But for the most part, this formatter will do the things you need it to do. Okay, so it's a simple and cheap way to get into that. Over here, here's your Dropbox for this, and I'm just going to click on here so I can tell you the due date I have for this is April 13th. So this gives us until after spring break. Not that spring break means very much right now, but this is when your short script is going to be due, and then we're going to be using these scripts for some other projects I have you folks do in this class. My goal is to have you folks doing some shooting, learning the things you need to, but we're just going to have to really change the way that we do that. And then I'll talk to you folks via email. We'll try to figure out how to get those projects we already started finished as well. Okay, but hey, thanks for bearing with us. We're going to do what we can in this class to learn what we need to, but we're going to start with these script projects this week and then just move forward with that. Thank you.